This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Jess will not count. Oh. Anybody else? 12th person voted out of Surviving Maine 2022, and the 7th member of our jury, Mary Ellen.
Oh my God.
All right, Mary Ellen, the tribe has spoken.
Thank you.
The idol play for me was unexpected. She did not tell me she would do that. But it just goes to show that our alliance from the beginning is there. We want to go to the end together. And we're doing it.
So we just had Final Five Tribal, and I knew that me and Marianne couldn't make it to the end, and I knew it was coming. And I knew we were going to get split up and eventually. I'm really bummed about it. I feel like most of my game was like just trying to make sure she was good. I'm a little afraid now that it won't be worth it. I'm just kind of scared. She also told me she had a bad feeling, so I mean, we didn't know. I knew Delaney, like, would probably have a shot at playing that at Jess. Like, me and Delaney had a really good chat right before, and she told me she had an idol. Like, we knew she had an idol. And I knew that she was, like, debating on to play it for herself or Jess. And I also get that stress on her end because, I mean, she literally got a vote, and she almost got 3. Not for me, I wasn't going to vote for her. But she didn't know that.
Matt refused to vote for Mary Ellen. Mary Ellen refuses to vote for Matt. I honor, respect that. And they knew it was moving, so I think they kind of knew that, or at least Matt kind of knew that he could move along and still keep his word, and just really respect that. And I'm crying because he just told me how much he reminds him of his mom, and then he was crying. I wish a woman. She's a badass. Look at this. Okay. Plus, I'm like, I haven't eaten anything. John's going crazy, and I'm just right now. So that was wild.
It was nerve-wracking because I felt like there was probably a 50-50 shot that it was me, and seeing my name on the first card freaked me out. So I'm happy I made it though, obviously, because I'm still here, and I think it looks kind of cool. So.
That was really cool of Delaney. I was like, the second she did it, I was like, respect. Like, I knew it was like a 50-50 shot. She knew it was a 50-50 shot, and it's cool that it landed right. I also don't know how I would have gotten rid of Mary Ellen, and she's definitely a vote for me on the jury, so it's not the end of the world, but it feels like it right.
I knew they were going right now. What made Matt go into the end? Did he tell you, or he just like...
No, I'm trying to. I don't want to put words in his mouth.
Yeah.
Jess, I couldn't vote for Mary Ellen.
Okay.
I'm really sorry.
No, she told me she couldn't vote for you.
I know.
Those were the words.
So, no.
I wanted Andrea.
Yeah.
Well,
I
now's our
also
chance, right?
I
Yes.
knew we'd have a better chance of getting him out with confidence. I just
I respect it.
that was it.
That was good.
That was it. I said I want it to be us. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know. It's pretty.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was good, you guys. That was good.
The adrenaline.
Final four. Congrats.
Oh my god.
Can we get Andrea, please?
I think every person I've had to vote out has been somebody that I'd like to see take the crown if it wasn't me, you know? So it's just all emotional. I'm really tired and I've never, I don't know, ever done anything like this. And I think politicking this much and trying to guess what everyone is thinking at all times, and you're second guessing yourself all the time, the paranoia's coming in, and I think this is like this has been my ultimate test of just trusting my instincts.
So when you start to consider the jury and who presents the biggest threat to win the game, to get those votes, I think that Delaney really is the top of that pecking order. She's spent the most time with the most people. She is super social, and I just noticed I tend to be a little bit quieter in big groups. Don't always want to push myself forward, but she is great at captivating an audience. This morning, all of us were sitting around and listening to her talk, listening to her tell stories about herself, and I was captivated. We were all captivated, and that is something that in Final Tribal Council is insanely useful. And in addition to that, she's been able to do that this entire game. She's been able to make those bonds by putting herself out there in an emotional and very empathetic way. She is delightful. I absolutely love and respect her.
Delaney's probably the biggest threat right now, and so her going would be better for my game. But I also would be so proud to lose to her, so.
I don't think that I've played the best strategic game. I don't think I've played the best social game, but I do think that I probably have played the best challenge game at this point. But I think in the minds of the jury, because everyone's coming for me, hopefully I can translate that into I deserve to win.
I think I'm getting to the end, so that's pretty slay. I'm gonna lose this challenge and they're not gonna vote me out, so if they do, good on them. That'll be a phenomenal Final Tribal Council. I think I have a lot to show at this Final Tribal Council that people here don't know about, but the second somebody goes to the jury, they find out about it from the other people there, so hopefully that'll be enough, but I just don't want to look stupid. I feel like I played a really good game, and I just don't want to have people be like, you played the worst out of the three,
Yeah.
So much adrenaline going. I'm just
Yeah.
If any of that was not gibberish, I was surprised.
I know. I feel like my organs are shaking right now, and I don't know if I would understand if you wanted to switch things up. But
You got my name down knowing I wasn't going home.
I wrote Mary Ellen's name down. I drew the birds on Mary Ellen's name.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scramble my brain.
No, I was gonna hit your nail and I'm not gonna write anything down.
No, I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to write anything. I said I don't know. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And okay. No, and I don't play obviously solidified that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We also found that together. That was our
That's
idol.
true.
That was our idol, you didn't have to cover me, you didn't have to put the birch there, you have to keep it the secret, and like I did that up with Andy, like you know what I mean? And I know that like me blowing that up with Andy meant you going home, because that's what like.
Can I steal for members of
Jazz. And he's like, and then you'll get a travel capsule vote or a jury vote for Jazz. And I was like, yeah, that totally makes sense. And I was like, okay, yeah, like, here we go. And I was like, no, because if you go home and it's me and them, and then Andy gets home, like there's, you know what I mean?
There's a fine line of where you have to play loyal in the game.
Yeah.
So
and
you can be only loyal. And I think that both of us probably made a dream of like making this decision.
Yes. And then ultimately, because I told you, like, I think it could be awesome as well. So, it is. Yeah. And like that, I promised Matt gets around with the idea. I did not promise. Like, it's just,
It's like, I haven't even promised anyone any sort of degree. I've just been like, they're good.
thumbs up, winky.
Jess is so like warm and sweet, but then when it's time to vote, is like a stone cold killer. Like, just is absolutely playing the game, which is funny to see. Like, I saw it early on, even with the like to bring back the very early, what feels like many years ago and was just a couple days ago. We brought up the Sam vote, and Sam got a little emotional, and the heartstrings were pulled for me. I was kind of like wondering, do we change it? Is there someone else we should do? And Jess was just like, no, it's Sam. Like, no problem. And at that point I was like, oh shit, Jess is a stone cold killer. Like, she will play this game and she will do what's best for Jess, period. She is super friendly, she's super nice and like just delightful, but at the end of the day, she's also just playing for her.
You did not vote for me.
Told you I wouldn't. I didn't do it. As I said in the professional was like, well, I'm gonna have another wrong vote, but I'm not voting for Jess.
My gosh.
How come you didn't go with Sam?
I wish you had.
You just didn't know she was gonna play you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping you'd still do it, like, even if, I tried to I tried to tell them, I was like, we just need to take the shot anyway, like, because, but they wanted to go. I guess they weren't willing to sacrifice, they weren't,
Right.
like, Mary Ellen obviously wasn't willing to sacrifice Mary Ellen, but then also, I don't think Matt was willing to sacrifice Mary Ellen,
right,
in the hopes that he had actually seen the idol, so.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt, I was like, I'm not going to beat her. I don't know. I mean, and if it doesn't come out, if they don't know it yet, they will know that it was basically her and Delaney orchestrating a lot of the moves and blindsides that have happened in this game. Like, I've barely had my finger on the pulse, which is, sad to admit, but, it's not the game, that's not the game I envision myself playing, but it's, it's where I am, it's what I'm working with. Yeah, I don't know how my social things work. That's fine.
I genuinely enjoy you, so I'd say you're doing great. Your social team's so good that I'm still like, maybe, like going back and forth about it. But we made it, and now it's the three of us, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm really proud. I'm so proud. No, honestly, like, most respect.
So here we are with two people, both of whom I think have played probably better strategic games than me in the final four. And so even if I win, it still is going to come down to a hard convincing of the jury to, decide that I've played a better game. I don't think I could beat her.
I mean, time will tell, right?
There's some spinning stuff here, it looks like.
It looks like spinning, grab some puzzle pieces, or...
I just feel like I ran like a 12-meter dash. I was like, breathing. Oh, God.
Do we have to spin out and back?
God, I hope Andy doesn't win the challenge. if he doesn't win the challenge, he goes home. Delaney and I go to the end. And then we just play our hearts out.
Mike, I think I got like decent sleep. We slept under the stars last night. It was beautiful. I saw a shooting star. So I feel like mentally, I made a wish. I'll tell you what it is. But yeah, mentally, I'm feeling great. When it comes to word puzzles, I imagine this is going to be some sort of relay. And if it involves speed, I'm fast. I think I was probably the fastest person this season. If it comes to puzzles, I do the Wordle, the Octwordle, the spelling bee, and the crossword every day. I'm good at putting letters in order, so I feel comfortable with that. Game on?
Yep, game on. Y'all ready? Okay. Andy, I'll take back the necklace. Thank you for not making me reach. All right. And our next individual immunity challenge is going to be this one. So we're going to draw rocks for spots, and you're going to stand inside the hula hoop and unspool yourself until you get all the way. And then you have to run to each of the wooden handles. Those are the markers that there's puzzle pieces there, so you can see them from a distance, and get the puzzle pieces of your color. You can only go to one handle a trip. So you'll have to make 6 trips out to get all your puzzle pieces, but you can grab all the ones that are there when you're at it. And then you'll come back and you're gonna solve the puzzle. So you'll solve the puzzle in front of your table.
It doesn't need a flat surface to...
No. It's a word puzzle.
That's right. I thought so.
That's okay.
I've seen them.
It's been a long weekend. All right. Survivors ready?
Yeah!
Ready!
Go! Andy's unspooling really fast. All right, everybody's working on collecting their pieces now.
There's so many tripping.
Once you've collected all your pieces, you're solving your puzzle on the ground. And Jess are all working on their puzzles. Matt's collecting his last set of puzzle pieces now. Remember to call out to me when you think you have it. Like he's taking a break.
Just looks like it, I promise.
Delaney has some of her puzzle pieces flipped over. Andy's looking pretty stumped, not moving a lot of pieces around anymore. Looking over at Delaney's puzzle to see if he can get any ideas.
I'll do a check.
Nope, that's not right. Andy thought he had it, but it's not right. No, it's not correct. Andy thought he had it again, but it's still not correct. Matt's going back out to check to see if he's gotten all his pieces. Jess is looking around to see if she's gotten all her pieces. Matt's coming back with 3 more puzzle pieces. He didn't have all of his pieces. Jess and Delaney are going out to look to see if they've gotten all their pieces. Jess is coming back with 3 more puzzle pieces. Delaney's coming back with more puzzle pieces. Matt, Jess, and Delaney are working quickly now. Everyone rearranging what they thought they had earlier to see if they can come up with something else with their new letters.
Gerald. Chuck.
Nope,
No.
still not right. Andy thought he had it again, but he's still not right. Jess is moving quickly now.
Chuck,
Say it.
unity is all ours.
No,
Oh,
it's not correct.
Immunity.
All 4 survivors are still working on winning individual immunity.
Immunity is all yours?
That's it.
God!
I just needed the tea.
Oh my god. That's embarrassing.
Okay, my Y was over there. Also, they just pointed out my Y.
Immunity.
I thought it couldn't be that because I thought we saw him.
I thought you had it. I didn't notice that was over there. That's why I asked you to call it.
believe that.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't have asked you to call it if I knew it was wrong. I thought you had it, but
So had I said yours, would I have known?
no. All right, Matt.
Woo! Woo!
You get your first individual immunity.
Yes, finally!
I can actually reach you.
There you go.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Good job, Matt. Good job.
Okay, so with this, instead of tribal council, Matt, you're going to be choosing one person to sit next to you in the final 3. The other 2 people will be making fire. Whoever does not make fire to burn the rope will go home.
Okay.
All right, we'll give you some time to strategize.
How you feeling?
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel great. I feel good. Terrible at fire.
Terrible at fire. I am too.
I was thinking Andy's good at fire. I'm offer like, I think Dana's a little better at fire than me, but I won't advocate against her. I think we both have close connections here, so I want you to take what you want. And then put my head out.
Have you ever made fire?
Nope.
Do you know how? Do you know how?
I think so.
I want you to know that like my votes for you like haven't been personal. I know you know that, but I just need to say that. I think Andy playing a bunch of idols wrong and only winning immunities perceivable. That's a huge shorting of his game. I think he's playing a phenomenal game. But I think jury-wise, there's only 4 people left, and I think he and Jess would be easier to beat. So I'm gonna have to take the next hour to like go through another mental journey.
Would I love you to take me? Absolutely. Do I think that, have I watched Delaney make fires a bunch of times? I have, and she's good at it.
I've also seen like you make fire a bunch of times too.
Well, exactly. So I feel like, I mean, like playing it out, right? You take Jess, Delaney and I go against each other in fire. One of us comes out in that hero role going into final tribal of just having one fire. You take me, Delaney beats Jess, has a hero role going into final tribal. You take Delaney, I come out. So
These are all my same thoughts, by the way.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Like those are the options. And
Yeah.
so then it's which circumstance do you think lines you up to, to have the best story at the end?
I fully agree with you.
Yeah.
That if Delaney were to just slay Jess right now, who has not touched Flint until this weekend, that then she would come and sweep us both.
Yeah.
After that last move, I'm like, fuck, because Mary Ellen left. Now if Delaney leaves too, then I'm at the end with, like, I betrayed everyone. I don't know what to do right now. I know you kind of want it to. That's why I'm like, do I want to give it to you?
I don't really want to. I don't really want to. I'd love to. I mean, it'd be like heroic. I'd love to be taken, and I'd love if you wanted to take me. But also for your own game, if you feel like it's best for me to go to fire, I respect that.
Do you want to hear my blunt thoughts?
Yep.
I know we're like that.
I'm like, why am I talking first?
I know we're like that with each other. No, I love that you did. I loved hearing your thoughts first. I would love for you to win this game if you're able to. I would also love for me to win this game if I'm able to.
Yeah.
I think that Jess can't make fire.
Yeah.
And I would rather you have a battle that you won, and then, like you said, the hero role comes from beating Andy, rather than you slay Jess and have that much more of, I just slayed that and went into it. I also think that we agree that Andy's social game isn't as good as ours.
Yeah.
I also don't know what to do right now because my thoughts are I want to give myself the best shot to win because I have a lot of things that the jury knows about that y'all don't. And I'm very excited to say that. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
And I want to see that too.
Yeah.
But I want to make it kind of hard for you just because of the last round in a fun game way.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to send you to fire.
Yeah.
And I think it might be against Andy.
That's okay.
And if you win that, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I hope you respect that.
I'd rather battle Andy than Jess.
I know. Jess said that too. She was like, I don't want to go against her. I respect that as well.
Yeah. I've made fire. I've made a lot of fires before. I've done Flint twice in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm not like a crazy threat for this, but
I think you're a threat.
I'd rather go out against Andy than Jess.
I'm not strong with fire in a way that it would feel smart for me to make a bold move and do something right now.
Yeah.
If I did, that could be a fun way for us to go out too, you know? I want one of us to win.
I do too.
I mean, in all honesty, like this might be, well, I guess besides winning would have been the best for either of us. But
I feel like I made it
Well, actually, honestly, no. To me, this might be better now that I think we can think it out. Maybe for each of us, because we needed to get the other one out.
Yeah.
And if you win, you can't go against the other person to fire. You either have to take them or let them go against someone who we know doesn't make fire.
Right.
And so either of us was going to get in. So in the end, this might...
If we knew one of us was going, this is probably the best advantage for both of us in our own game. Yeah. I think so too. And honestly, like, if I go out making fire, like, I made it to fire. Like, I made it.
And you're also really good at making fire. Like, how fast you made it yesterday compared to, like, the day before when I was trying to make it, like, I'm quite frightened.
No, I used embers. That helps. Yeah. I did. But I think it was badass. I think it's kind of symbolic that you and I were going breath for breath.
Yeah.
And now we're doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's so poetic.
Footage of us like, both blowing on the same fire.
I freaking love it. And honestly, like, obviously you and Jess were like number one for me, but I feel like it was almost instant. Like, I felt the connection with you.
No, right.
And when you were saying in the beginning, you're like, I just want to work with real people, with real connections, down to earth. And like, the fact that you said that, I was like, I want to work with you for those exact same reasons. And so I'd love to go out. I'd love to either go out to you making fire or win. Like, that's it. Like, I feel like either way, if I win, that's a win. And if I go out to you.
Yeah.
All right, come on in. All right, now we'll bring in the jury. Trisha, Stephanie, Justin, Will, Mike, Dan, and Mary Ellen voted out at the last tribal council. All right, Delaney, why don't you start off? We'll just go down the line, kind of talking about your different pitches to Matt about what you wanted to happen.
I don't know if this is silly to say, but I don't think I gave much of a pitch. I'm so happy that obviously I would wish I wanted it, but I'm really happy that he got that, and I respect whatever decision he made. Yeah, I think it was like a mutual understanding, and I feel fine about it. I feel okay. I feel like just getting to this far, I feel like at peace with whatever is going to happen, and I'm just really happy right now. So, it's all good.
How about you, Jess?
I feel every emotion you could ever think of. Matt said that there's different proteins for different or for different tiers, and so you have different tiers, and I wonder if I must have every protein coming out of my body. And that was phenomenal. I mean, we battled that out, and Matt deserves it. So I am good with his decision.
What about you, Andy?
Well, this is tis not where I wanted to be. At least that's what I thought going into the immunity challenge. I was kind of on my mind like, yeah, you have to win this. But in hindsight, Matt winning is actually good for me. I mean, every single one of these people up here is a threat, and for different reasons. But I think, especially after the idol play last tribal council, I think Delaney pushed herself to the forefront of that threat radar. So had I won immunity, I would have had to take someone, right? And it would have been silly to take Delaney. But then that would have been putting Delaney in the hero role in a fire-making challenge against two people who I don't know their fire-making skills, but I know that she's good. And so that's not good, right? That means that the person who I, right now see as the greatest threat in the game would be in the final with me, likely. This actually gives me or someone else an opportunity to take her out, potentially. So as much as, it was heartbreaking to lose that, like I was just one tee off for so long, just flopping the tee around in my hand like a fool. It might have actually worked out for the best, but we'll see.
All right, Matt.
Imagine I just said it and didn't say anything else. That was not funny. I didn't think I was going to win that. And I saw a spinning part, and I was like, I've been puking all weekend, and now I'm spinning. And so I feel pretty confident with word puzzles, to be honest, but I knew that if I spent the whole word puzzle puking, that I would not be getting it done. And so I spun very slowly and jogged very slowly. Y'all saw that I could sprint this game if I had to, and I didn't think it would be smart to do that. That was a type of calculated risk that I feel like I've been kind of doing throughout this game. I really haven't been afraid to take risks, and I'm excited to talk about that more. But they've all been calculated. I am a statistician by trade. The past 2 years I've been working in public health COVID epidemiology, and I've been doing stats for Massachusetts and Minnesota, and I have no problem taking a risk when I feel like I can go for it. I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and sometimes you need that paralyze to land to win the battle, and there's only a 30% chance that the paralyze lands. And I'll go for it sometimes if I need to, because that shot sometimes matters. I think in this game, in this specific challenge, it did end up mattering, and me going a bit slower and taking time to puke when I needed to allowed me to kind of get that win at the end. I think in terms of this decision, some of the conversations that have been brought up here at Tribal and when I was talking one-on-one with everybody, I think that fire making at Final Four is a difficult position to be in when you win immunity. Because I have been lying to everybody about not being able to make fire this season. I'm very good at making fire, but I did watch 2 people make fire last night with each other. And I spent this past week making fire every day. I did it 5 times, and each time was 10 minutes longer than it took them. And so I'm trying to make a calculated risk of whether actually taking this off and going for fire is smart, because I have no problem doing that if I could do it, but my calculated risk doesn't feel smart to do that right now. I don't think that this vote in any direction for the jury towards the FTC is going to be anything but split. I think people have different connections that we're going to learn about at Final Tribal Council, and I think that for me right now to get the votes needed to hopefully just have 1 or 2 more than some other people at Final Tribal Council, I need to make a smart decision about who can beat the person that I think I can still beat, but might get 1 vote over me, and that might matter because that always matters. So I've thought about it for the past hour or whatever time. I don't know how time's working.
Who knows?
I see the benefit of taking this off and going to make fire. And as a statistician, I shouldn't do that right now. And I think if I shouldn't do that, we should put on a show because people want to see it. And I'm going to be taking Jess to Final Tribal Council. And Andy and Delaney are going to be making fire.
All right.
Let us speak.
All right, so there's a 1 and a 2. 1 chooses first.
There we go.
All right, put your hands out and reveal. So Andy, you get to choose your fire making station, and Delaney will get the second one.
Well, you said it was my color. I'm going to take yellow.
Congrats.
All right, survivors ready? Go! Andy and Delaney have both been making fire for their tribes the whole season. Delaney's starting off with some big sticks. They're both going in. All right, Andy's going in for sparks. Andy's now getting sparks. Delaney has a flame. Andy's still working on getting a flame. Delaney's using her box to block the wind. Andy's scraping more magnesium, trying to catch up. Delaney's flame is really high now. She's holding the box to block the wind. And her rope is turning black. Andy has a flame. Now he's just gonna build it up. The wind is playing a big factor in this challenge. Andy's is getting closer. Delaney's rope is on fire.
Good job, Andy.
Good job, Andy. Thank you.
Good job, Andy. Good job.
And now Andy's rope is burning.
I got myself.
All right. The tribe and the fire has spoken. There you go. All right, you can head out that way.
All of you. Love you, Andy.
In just a few minutes, you will have your opportunity to talk about your game and your strategy and give your speech to the jury. The jury will have an opportunity to ask you questions, and then we'll vote for the winner of Surviving Maine Season 3. All right, you guys can head out.
Unfortunately, the legend of Raccoon Boy has to come to an end, but yeah, no, I mean, what a way to go out. I feel like I was so close, but you know, that's the way that the fire lights, I guess. I always thought that, you know, you should vote for who played the best game, but then I thought you should vote for who, at the end of the day, you're going to feel good about voting for. It doesn't, you know, what's the best game? Who knows? Everyone has to play the hand they're dealt, and we're all dealt different hands when we start this game and throughout the game. And I know that there's probably going to be a lot of people on the jury, knowing the people on the jury that are going to have strong opinions about what's the right thing to do, but there's no right answer. The right answer in all of this is to do what you want to do and what makes you feel good and happy at the end.
I think I played a good game. I think it comes down to everything that I wanted to, not everything I wanted to do, but most of the things that I wanted to do, I did.
Delaney is a social beast, and I think what's great about Delaney is that her and I had very similar games, and I thought we were aligned, but she had me fooled.
Coming out here was just a test for myself, and obviously for the adventure, and wanting to be in an element that I feel comfortable in, needing to get out of the city for a little bit, and wanting to meet people that I had similarities with, and that just had a love to play, whether that's Survivor or anything, just to meet a group of adults that enjoy being playful together.
Delaney is somebody who's like very like obviously like a threat. She's so charismatic. She like is so easy to talk to. She like really draws people in.
I think Delaney had a great social game. She's really, really likable. I love her.
I love how outgoing I am, and I love being able to make friends with a lot of people, but also at the same time, I'm insecure about some of the things that I like the best about myself, and I wanted to come out here and originally, again, put my authentic self to the side and play the game, trying to embody and present as something that I wasn't, but using the skills that I knew I had. And it turns out that it's near to impossible to be anybody but yourself out here. And I think that that's exactly why I'm in the place that I am in. That's exactly why I'm in the place that I'm in, is because of who I am, how I create relationships, and how I trust my instincts.
I love Delaney. We had just a short time together on the Swap Tribe, and instantly she won me over with her personality, her energy, her vibe. She reminds me a lot of a friend back home.
I just feel so alive and good right now, and I'm just really happy with myself, even if I don't win, but I feel like it still could be mine, so yeah.
I played my heart out, and I feel like I had a hand in everything that happened this season. Delaney and I connected at the beginning. We bonded. We said final two, and here we are. We managed to have all of that bond, essential for both of our games, and that pulled us so far. I was even split from Delaney and took out almost all of my tribe. I had connections in the game. I already knew 4 players, and I took them all out. And I'm so proud of myself, and everyone is proud of me, so they'll choose me to win.
Jess has found herself in a weird, almost under the radar standpoint in this game, and she needs to differentiate herself from Delaney as the real game changer in this game, and not Delaney.
Jess gets my vote if she can really shine her under the radar game. I think that she was playing and pulling strings behind people's backs without them knowing, and I think it would be really important for her to share each and every move that she made and let the jury know that she has never had their backs, like that she was trying to take them out one by getting in close with them.
Everyone thought or believed that I was their number one, or maybe not their number one, but a solid person that was with them. I can't even process thoughts right now.
She played a very good, subtle, behind-the-scenes game, especially late in the game. I think she played very well. I think she directed a lot of the votes.
Her stoic face was a mask for a mastermind strategy.
Everyone I would discuss votes with, I felt like I could put a name into their head and they would run with it.
I love Jess. Me and Jess were close the whole game. I loved how much energy and life she brought into the game, and I loved how much of that energy and life she put into the game. I think in order to get my vote, I think Jess is going to have to differentiate her game from Delaney's and why it was, and explain why it was superior.
I am so fucking proud of myself and so happy to be here, and I'm pretty happy and proud of how I played my game, and I'm so proud to sit next to these 2 people. They deserve it just as much as I do.
My social game was very strong, and so strong that I think it masked my strategic game a bit, and I'm very excited to tell them more about that.
Matt holds a special spot to me because he slipped me his shot in the dark. Was that a play for my vote?
I think it's going to be hard because Delaney and Jess both played very dominant games, but I also see me playing the first part of the game in an extremely strong, dominant position. And then I got to show the whole jury how I can scrap from the bottom to the top as well. And I think that that, combined with me explaining more about the advantages I had and how they got played, and a couple other intricacies of votes I was involved in that did not get fully detailed to the jury yet, I think that all of that might surprise some people. And I think that people want to vote for me, they just don't know if I deserve it over another person yet.
I know there's a lot that I don't know what was going on in his mind, so for him to get my vote, I want him to pretty much tell me the stuff that I didn't know, because there was always some last minute decisions, so I know his brain was always going.
Winning a Survivor game, obviously the real one, but this was just as cool in my opinion, has been my dream for the past 2 years, because I kind of like lost all my other ones.
I'm gonna go in with a clear mind, and I hope he articulates the game that he played, because I think it was a really good one. So I think for me, it's just making sure that he owns his game, and is very clear about what he did, that was deliberate. And, you know, I hope to be an advocate for him, because I do think he's played amazing. Jesus. I'm just really proud of him.
Yeah, I spent a long time, like, feeling really guilty that I couldn't finish things. I'm getting this, like, proof that even if I don't win, I can do it. And winning would just be, like, even cooler, like, I don't care about this if I win. So yeah. I'm manifesting it.
Can I ask you a quick question too?
Sure.
So you voted for Dan the round Dan went?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. That clears that.
So Matt voted.
So Matt voted for you.
Yeah, Matt voted for you. Yeah.
Okay, so then you
I don't know. Every single one. I like if they do my voting booth stuff. I'm like, well, here I go. I'm fucking up again. Like I'm wrong. Wrong again.
Was there any way other than my vote that you voted correctly?
Correctly.
Okay.
And then stop.
And then
in
it's
there.
and then it started going wrong. So well, you didn't even get to vote that round.
I will
My
say
round.
for Delaney, she was vulnerable like those last couple of rounds coming into the final tribal, and she was the most visible, like talked about threat. She was so obviously social. She was like so obviously like a challenge threat, and she was still able to navigate and like when people were actively gunning for her, when she should have.
So we've got Delaney as the active target right up front. We've got Jess and Matt that are playing these kind of behind the scenes in games. The difference between Jess and Matt is that Jess is still playing very coldly and very calculatedly, whereas Matt is playing more social, more friendly,
more
opened up,
emotionally, I think.
more emotionally.
Yeah.
So all three played very different games.
I think that Jess played socially and emotionally, but I think that her decision making was
more calculated.
I don't think that she played a cold game at all.
Yeah. And Jess hasn't had any of these advantages. She did win one immunity, but she's got navigated this game without any of that stuff, right? So
and had an idol played on her,
right?
Which is good social.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I think I love big flashy plays. I love big moves. I think that is a part of the game. But there's also something to be said for someone that can get to the end without having to do any of that, because it means they're playing the right strategic and social game, and they've got the right connections, which is it's really cool to see that you can get to the end without a ton of immunities like some people win, or idols and advantages and all that stuff.
And with Jess, like the last day, she really started being like a lot more like open, like emotional and like opening up, and like so like some of us later jurors, I don't know if they could attest to this too, just kind of saw that like softer side to her.
And now we'll bring in the jury. Trisha, Stephanie, Justin, Will, Mike, Dan, and Mary Ellen. And Andy voted out of the last tribal council. Or fired out. All right, so you have 2 minutes for an opening speech, then you'll all get questions, and then 2 minutes for a closing speech. Matt, I'm gonna have you start.
Okay.
Okay? Go.
Hello, everyone. I just firstly want to say thank you guys for making this honestly one of the best weekends ever. Each one of you, I had some really good chats with. If it wasn't the most game related with all of you, I do feel like I shared some really genuine moments with each person, and that is what I most wanted out of this weekend, so thank you for that. Once I saw the ability for me to play the game I didn't know I could play, I started doing that. And so on top of the hopefully viewed as genuine social connections I made with y'all, I recognize that I play a little cutthroat in moments, and I'm excited to explain that to you all. The first time that I decided to play this game was when I was scared that Justin was going to go home right before merge, because I felt like Justin would be a huge meat shield for me during the merge of this game, and that if he wasn't there at merge, then I would be one of the first targets, especially during that tiny fast round. And so I needed Justin here, on top of me literally loving him. But besides that, I found an idol during this challenge that I sat out on. It was in the bench. I gave it to Justin. Trish, I fucked you over, truly. I fucked you over.
I know.
I did not want anybody on that tribe to leave, and I had to play the game when I knew that somebody could. After that, I really turned the game on. I also got the knowledge is power. I got that from the underneath the chips. I gave that to Justin because if he could play that and I couldn't, it's the reason why I kept the threat off myself going forward. I had 2 advantages and I made sure that I didn't get any flack for them, and it's why I only got votes 1 round. And that 1 round that I got votes, the person who was voting for me went home. And that is huge. The reason why I kept my ability to stay in this game was because the social connections and the ability to pivot and get people off of my back and keep other people's names out of my mouth was huge, and it allowed me to really get to the end of this game. Unfortunately, there was a couple people that I had to completely fuck over to do that, and that was a huge source of guilt in this, but I think I played a phenomenal Outlast game, which is always overlooked, and I did a great job with that, and I proved at the end that my physical part here got me to merge, and after that, I focused on other things to keep the threat level off, and I finished with an immunity win. And I also gave the shot in the dark to Will that everybody was confused about. That was me, and I hope, Will, that you saw that as me really wanting you in that game and not having autonomy in that moment. I found it later. I fucked over Dan as well, completely. I fucked you over. Thank you all. Including Dan.
Sorry, Matt.
I get it, thank you.
All right, you ready, Jess? All right, go ahead.
All right. I think I played a very strong game throughout. I made solid connections with most of you. I think there was 10 tribals I attended, and I had every single vote in those 10 tribals. I think you could see the trust that people had in me with the playing of the votes and the playing of idols and advantages. I had a major blind side to Mike, who had no idea, and I gave Mike Andy's name, and Andy played his advantages. The only vote I don't feel good about is Dan, because Dan and I did have a very close relationship, and we did feel strongly together. But in order to move towards Andy, I had to go for you.
Ready?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I loved the game that I played. Just the fact that I'm playing it felt really good to me. When I came out, I originally wanted to play a much quieter game and step back a little bit and more of like an observation setting and be the quiet one for once, and that very quickly turned out not to be the case. I think Justin was the one that was like, it's really impossible to be anything except for yourself when you're out here. And after I kind of realized that that's how things were turning over, I just wanted to lead with that. I came out here wanting to find a little bit more confidence within myself, and I think that means playing with my whole self and like my authentic self, and that includes my socializing skills. And none of the connections that I had or that I made, well, they were all authentic, and I truly adore each of you guys. I have not. Yeah, but I do, and they weren't fake. I knew that I couldn't get far with just that, so I did have to be a little bit sly, and that's when, Mike, that's when you came in, and Justin, you as well, and same with you, Will. I think that the people that I made secure promises with are sitting next to me. I told Jess from the very beginning I wanted to go to the end with her, and when Matt and I were getting a little bit more solidified throughout the game, it was obvious that we wanted to go to the end together, and every person that I wanted out went out when I wanted them out, and the people that I wanted to stay with me till the end are with me at the end. And I didn't want to play a scared game. I didn't want to meet shield. I didn't want to go with just numbers. I said that right off the bat. I wanted to kind of go out swinging, and I wanted to be able to take the title of outlasting, outwitting, and outplaying, and I think I did all three of those.
All right. So, jury, now you'll have your opportunity in order to ask a question. Go ahead, Trisha.
Jess, so you said you had a hand in all of the vote outs, right? And can you tell me which you think you were the most decisive in moving that vote and choice forward?
Definitely the Mike vote. I led that. I led to Mike that we're going for Andy, and I didn't say any word to anyone else about Andy. I had the full hand. I think I had the full hand in that, honestly. For all of the previous ones, I outweighed the two players, and I would base the two players and their strong suits and say, like, who do I want to move forward with? I tried to play pretty loyal. I kept with people I felt secure with the whole time. Like Delaney said, we said day one we would be finalists, and here we are. And I had an order of people, and they basically went in that order.
Matt, I respect and appreciate your openness and honesty about your autism and ADHD. As a teacher of students with disabilities, I understand that those things come with disadvantages and also advantages. How did you use that to navigate the game?
I love that question. In terms of disadvantages, I want to say that it's really hard for me to be around people. I know I talk a lot. That's usually about things I'm excited about. I'm excited about Survivor, so that is something I can talk about a lot. Unfortunately, being around people after 2 years of working at home during the pandemic and truly not going outside more than a couple of times was really difficult. And I feel like I overcame that by the hyperbolization of the advantages I had in terms of my mental disabilities. People who have autism have unique interests and cannot stop talking about those. And I made sure to not talk game with everyone in this game because I knew that that was a huge issue and it would get a target on your back. But if I saw somebody that didn't seem like they were gonna turn on me and they really wanted to make a genuine connection, I would openly talk game with them and I would go in. I would talk all about the Survivor I knew. I'm very new to Survivor. I only started watching it during the pandemic, but in these past 2 years, I did lie about watching only half the seasons. I've watched all of them and I've watched them all twice. And I love this fucking show. And it truly came at a time where I really needed it. And I think that my ability to be self-aware in this game and know exactly how I come off to people, it took many years of knowing exactly how people view me because queer people and autistic people don't really have the opportunity to not know what people think of them. And I think I did a really good job of overcoming that.
I played a very personal game. I made lots of connections with lots of people on this. I don't know if you've noticed, the jury has been having a freaking blast watching all of you, and we can't wait to hang out with you. It's going to be the best time. But seeing you three up here is really interesting because I would be honored to vote for any of you three. You've all played stellar games, and I have a personal bond with all of you. If I was voting strategically, I could vote for anyone. If I was voting with my heart, I could vote for anyone. So my vote is still very much up in the air. And like when it comes to my bonds in the game, Jess, we've known each other for years and felt kind of just a bit like off-put by how little you seemed to care or like wanted to use me in the game. But at the end of the day, all three of you voted for me. So kind of on an even playing field. I'd like each of you to explain why, as someone who voted me out, and why that was strategic.
You were the first person to approach me on day one, and you gave me your fire token. You're like, did you get one of these? I was like, no. You're like, I'm giving this to you in solidarity. I was like, awesome, like this is so cool. And we didn't know what they were for, but it didn't really matter what they were for because it was the solidarity that mattered. And so that was such an uplifting feeling, knowing that somebody right out the gate wanted to work with me. You were one of the hardest votes for me. I think a lot of our conversations back at camp were just like so meaningful, and I enjoyed working with you as long as we did. My reasoning for voting you out was that I don't want to sound mean. It was just
I just want to know the
Sorry,
hit me.
I was happy that you approached me first, but it also made me weary how you approached me, and it seemed, when I took a step back, it seemed slightly hasty because you hadn't really cracked the surface quite yet. And so I kind of took that with me, knowing that if you were willing to do that with me, I'm not sure about, like, if we were to move forward when things were going to get really, really tough. I didn't think I was fully able to trust your communication and how you went about, I think, strategizing in a bigger group. And I think that's just and I think I needed, because I was playing such an out there game, I think I was looking for people that were kind of, I needed things kind of on the quieter ends, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I respect your game. I just know that the things that I picked up on worried me for moving forward for when things were like rapid fire. And I kind of had to set myself up for smooth sailing so I could do that.
Yes.
So because we have known each other for a few years and played a game together, I know that my experience of you as a player is a chaotic player. And you can't control chaos. So I didn't want that chaos. I wanted control. I spoke with them. I let her know that when she came to me and said, like, what do you think about Will? I was like, oh, I think he's a little chaotic. And what did you have?
I like chaos. When you're on the bottom, you need some chaos so that the vote isn't on you. And the first thing that you said to me when you picked me first out of the people from my tribe was that I'm your favorite of the tribe that I was on. And that was so huge to me because nobody has said it so bluntly. I immediately knew that you had my back. And I knew that at Final 5 or 6 or something, you maybe needed to turn on me. But I needed new people each round. And you were the person that truly, right at that swap, made me feel so good. And I was perceptive, and I made sure that you didn't go do that to Justin. You didn't go do that to Mary Ellen. The reaction that you had to me was very different than them. And that made me feel extremely good. So much so that I gave you a way to hopefully stay in this game. And that was something that in that moment I didn't even think twice about, because the whole line, you're at the front of the line at that tribal. I was walking up behind everyone in that line, and I was like, what are you doing? What are we doing? Trying to see if anyone wanted to do anything else. And Delaney looked at me and she was like, I'm so sorry, Matt. And I didn't know what to do besides give you my only way to stay.
Hi, guys. It's hard to not be emotional. I got to know each of you guys in very different lengths of time. My vote is purely strategic, and I really want to hear, those of you that do know me, I'm a huge superhero fan, and I die for Batman and Spider-Man. But what I want to know is what is your most heroic moment, and what is your most villainous moment?
I think the most villainous moments for me, which I knew was going to be tricky going into this, it was going to be one of my biggest challenges, was making connections and then having to break them for gameplay. I lead with my feelings, and I think it's helpful because everything that I did was based on my intuition. And I would say I felt most villainous voting you two out, Mike and Will. but I knew I had to. The three of you, Justin, Will, and Mike, you guys, and then obviously Andy in the end, but like you guys were my biggest competitors, and I thought you were going to be my biggest threats. And I didn't want to dance around that and take it to the end. I just wanted to get rid of it, just so I could move forward and continue to navigate. And yeah, it felt horrible doing it. It felt absolutely horrible. My stomach was turned. And it really felt like I was going against myself and who I am. It just didn't feel natural at all. My most heroic moments, probably the food eating challenge. If we can talk about challenges, yeah, I would say the food eating challenge. And the fire challenge. Beating Andy in fire was like, if I don't win this, I'm just gonna take that with me forever. It was so bad. I was like, it felt so good, and knowing that I didn't want to talk about my experience in the woods or with hiking or camping. I didn't want to talk about my experience doing it solo or any sort of survival stuff that I've done on my own. But growing up, one of my biggest things was just to be able to take care of myself in situations that I was the most vulnerable in. And I knew that making fire could be a moment for me, and the fact that that's how I felt like I finished, it feels like it was my game. And like getting to that end, I was like, this is what I do, and this is what I've done to prepare myself for this. And so I felt like a hero for myself in that moment.
Great. Jess? I think my most villainous moment, I think it would be Dan's, because I think Dan and I had the strongest connection, and I think but we knew, or I knew, we all knew, that in order to move forward without Andy, that I needed to get rid of Dan and that connection. And pulling that connection away from Andy made my connections with everyone else much stronger. I think my most heroic moment is actually a challenge I did with you, with the balls, because I think I said to everyone, was that like, I was so bad with hand-eye coordination in that like ball challenge, and I was like so proud that I did that. So proud that I did that.
Cool. Thank you.
Matt?
My most heroic moment, I think, was when I did the Michelle Fitzgerald puzzle. She is my favorite player of all time, and she's the only one who's won that puzzle, and now I also had a huge part in that puzzle and kicked it down. I think that Michelle is somebody that people didn't think could be a winner at the beginning of the game, and she proved herself in many ways, and she scrapped. And I felt like such a hero for scrapping, because the beginning of this game, I didn't have to. I felt really good. And then we got to merge and I did not feel good. So the hero side of me just felt victorious for feeling successful many times throughout this game. My most villainous moment was Dan's vote out. I feel solely responsible for Dan's vote out. I think that was a huge meddling round, and I didn't want to separate Dan from Andy. That was not my goal. I did not even want to go for Dan that round. I saw myself when I met you as somebody in a similar position to me. You were looking to make connections. You felt okay on your beginning try, but you knew that wasn't going to last. And my words at the time that I said them to you were true. I truly went into the game not trying to make specific end game plans with anyone. And when I did, I really tried to hold on to that, and I effed you over for that. And at the same time I did that, it was because I felt like I needed to be in what your position would have been the next round. I thought that you potentially would have me, and I was scared that would have come back. If that was paranoia, I don't regret it, because it did help me get here still. In that last moment, I went to both Delaney and Jess here, and I said, you guys need to vote Dan right now, because I'm telling Mary Ellen to play her shot in the dark. And that was the real villainous moment of that round, because I hadn't lied to Mary Ellen the whole game. And she wasn't gonna vote you, Dan, and I didn't want to go to rocks, and I was like, what's my only way to do this right now? And there was a very big conversation about how you could have been in trouble, Mary Ellen, but I didn't believe it. I don't think you were that round, and I'm so sorry. But I needed you both there next round, and I wanted to claim a move, because I finally felt like in that last moment I could scramble. power. And not only was I a villain to Dan, but I was a villain to my #1 ally in this game.
All three of you played great games. My vote is still up in the air. You guys are all eloquent speakers. 3 more jurors. Keep it coming.
Thanks, Mike.
Good job, guys.
All right, so I kind of want to open up on the same thing. This is a very open jury from every talk I've had, and you guys have all been giving good answers, so I think it's still probably wide open. So Delaney, you're somebody who I started the game with, and you're so obviously like a social player. But like there were a lot of times, especially after the merge, where you know, like there were strategic moves made that we were both included on, but you never even knew I was in it. And so like how do you explain, like, so other people saw me as a valuable part of the vote, but you never even thought to come to me with it?
Yeah, super fair. Super fair. I think it's because when we merged, I had put your name out there kind of early, and it felt not unnecessary. It just didn't feel right with the time limits that we had, and the alliances that I had and the moves that I had to make. And the fact that I had thrown your name out early, I didn't necessarily feel like we were going to be going to the end anyway. And so I don't think that's where all my attention was going to. I knew who I wanted to work with. I was trying to figure out a few other players. I'm sorry if this is a horrible thing to say. I felt like I could beat you in the end. And that to me wasn't good enough to bring somebody along. I didn't want to sit next to people who I felt like I could beat, and I kind of wanted you out for a few rounds, and so it felt just unnatural to then be like, so what do you think? Because to me, I had other moves happening, I guess.
Good game, guys. It's gonna be super close, I think, so keep fighting.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks. Congratulations, you guys. Great game. Jess, I know I'm kind of like the quiet, shy person, and I kind of tried to approach you a couple times, and I just felt like brushed off. Can you explain that?
I can't, because I did not know that you felt that way.
How did you know?
Thank you.
Nah. My closest buddy. When did you decide you weren't going to take me to the end? Because I would have never written your name down, and I was planning on taking you to the end the whole time.
I was too, and I told these people the same thing. And they can attest that I wanted you here. And I recognize what the conversations was with them was I would tell people, I recognize that we might not be able to go to the end, but I would love for Mary Ellen to be here. I told both of these people and multiple other people in this game that I loved that your whole family was here. I wanted them to root for you. I wanted you to get to the end. And I promise you, I made that very clear to these two people. I made them, I did not. I thought Jess was going home that round, and that was the one round where I was completely shook.
Good job, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, so now you'll, I'll put my timer, and you'll get a 2-minute closing statement, and then we'll vote. All right, we're gonna start again with you, Matt.
All right, I think I've explained my game enough, and I just want to explain specifically why Survivor means so much to me. I did not watch it growing up. I didn't know anything about it, and I found it during the pandemic when I could no longer finish veterinary school. And that was my dream for a long time. And the pandemic just made it way too hard because of my mental illnesses. I couldn't adjust the same way that my classmates could. And so the 8 years that I put into that finished. And I didn't know what to do because I didn't have any other dreams. And then I found Survivor. And the metaphor of it was so important to me because vet school made me not want to survive anymore. I'm really proud of myself. And thank you for listening.
I'm not advocating against these two. I'm just promoting myself. And we went through many a tribal council, where I had a hand in many of those votes, and I never had an advantage. And there were many advantages played, and all of them were played incorrect. And I am just so proud of myself and being here, and it was so much fun playing with all of you. And this is just a blast. And I'm happy just to have been sitting here. I mean, I would be happy to be sitting there. I'm happy to have been the first one out. It was just a joy.
Yeah, I think it sounds kind of cocky, but I think my game kind of speaks for itself. What I wanted to do, it happened exactly how I wanted it to happen. And I didn't think that I would be capable of pulling those moves in order to maneuver through the game in the way that I wanted to. And I did not have any advantages besides this last one, which was the idol. And I pulled a gamble on it. It was the last time that I could play it. And I felt like in order to keep myself intact, and it was really important for me to make sure that Jess was there with me. It was also a strategic play because if Jess went home, it would have been easier for Matt, Mary Ellen, and Andy, I believe, to link up, possibly. And I think I'm going to regret it, but I think that that's good. I think I feel okay with it. Okay.
All right, so now each member of the jury is going to get a chance to vote for one last time. Remember that this time you are voting for a winner. And we'll get to the vote. Trisha, you're up.
Jess, I love you. You'll be my friend for life. I just didn't see enough game of your game. Delaney, you're such a badass, and it is a really, really hard decision for me. It definitely comes down to you and Matt.
Wow, so emotional. All three of you, played a winning game. And I hope you all realize you should be absolutely proud of all of your games. The strengths of each of you are different, but all add up to a winning conversation, and this is such a hard vote.
Torn because I feel like I'm voting between three amazing people. And all of you have great stories. But I was just overly impressed with Delaney. You played an amazing game. I'm so proud of you. I hope you do amazing things.
My vote is for you, Matt. We stuck together as long as we could until you ventured off. I do appreciate your gameplay. You did play a phenomenal game. You were definitely a little smarter than I thought. And yeah, you did awesome. I'm proud of you. Love you.
Here we are again. I hope for this person's sake this time I don't get it wrong.
Yeah. All right, I'll go tally the votes. All right, for the final time this season, I'll read the votes. First vote, Matt. Delaney. That's one vote Matt, one vote Delaney. Matt. Two votes Matt, one vote Delaney. Matt. Three votes Matt, one vote Delaney. Matt. Four votes Matt, one vote Delaney. And the winner of Surviving Maine Season 3, Matt.
Good game, girls. Really, really good game.
I know, I love you so much. Yes! Thanks, man, so much. You're I've been wanting to say sorry for so long.
Someone else did it hard.
What an amazing experience. So much fun. I was so happy to sit next to Delaney and Matt. So well deserved. I would have been happy with any one of us. And Matt is like beyond deserved. So happy for him. It's just an amazing experience.
Good.
Oh my god, this is like so nuts.
I thought you did so well. You're just like watching you. Like we had an initial conversation. Good job. Great game. Huh? Love
Did you put my name in?
Yeah.
You didn't know that? I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm like, how did I get looked into this?
I'm feeling pretty bummed that I didn't win, but I'm ecstatic for Matt. I think he definitely deserved it, and I'm really, really happy for him. A part of me, I thought this was my game, and I really thought that I could take this one home. That's okay. I'm so happy for him. I really am.
Slay! Like, I don't know. I didn't expect this. I didn't believe in myself at the beginning, but hilariously I saw a pathway when I was on the bottom instead of when I was like not in the top.
So this was a really, really tough decision. Delaney, I really respect your game. You're the type of player that I would want to play as. I really liked your authentic, bringing your whole self to this game. But Matt, you're the type of player that I would aspire to be, but I know that I can't.
My vote is for Matt. You are an unbelievable human being, and you're an unbelievable player of this game. I respect everything you did, all the way down to the last moment. I love you, and I really hope you win. You deserve it.
You guys are winning this game. I know it. Push for the ultimate survivor.
Matt, I am so proud of you for everything you did in this game. Every step of the way was just so masterful. This is exactly what game I would point to for how to play from the bottom. Good luck.
Love the game you played. It was very surprising to me, and getting to hear you so eloquently describe it was just beautiful. Getting to meet you, like, while in the game I felt like maybe we didn't connect as much as I would have liked. Now knowing more, I completely respect everything you did. I think sometimes you have to play the game you're dealt, and you played the situation you were in beautifully. So, good luck, buddy.
This just feels really fucking good. I knew I wanted this, and then I didn't know like how bad I wanted it until it happened, and I thought it was gonna be a lot more of a split vote. I really tried to like position it in a way that if votes split between the two of them, I would get one more than them. And I'm really proud that I beat such two badasses in this game, because that was not an easy FTC to win, and I didn't know I could do that, so I'm just really proud of myself.